It's Metal Blade's 40th anniversary. I can only imagine how much metal memorabilia would fit into a time capsule. I know what I would put in. It would be the original artwork to Deathless, done by none other than Tom Strom. This record was our first album on Metal Blade. It really kind of launched us into a new era of our career. Tom Strom's a very close friend of mine. He's an incredible artist. He's done all my tattoos. He's done 3 of our album covers. Deathless, Great Is Our Sin. He's also done the Outer Ones album cover, and he's done t-shirt designs for us as well in the past. This was the first piece of art that we worked on together. I love the clouds. I love the sort of skeletal souls. It's got the cool living tombstone thing. There's all these sort of souls flying out of it, either flying out of the mouth or flying into the mouth, can't really tell. So there's tons of cool details in this artwork. Tom put a sort of a self-portrait here of his severed head, so this is supposed to be a fragment of Tom's skull flying out of the mouth of this tombstone. Kind of has a Beksinski-ish vibe. Tom's a huge Beksinski fan, as am I. If you notice, in the corner there, he's got a window for eye. Actually, he painted on the top of it, so he's got sort of both eyes in there, I guess. So I think I was the first person that he tattooed that concept on, so there was a crossover there. I'm proud that I was a guinea pig with that bit of artistic expression there. It's got this sort of creepy staircase with some ectoplasm sort of drooling out of the mouth. So Tom's a super intuitive artist, and you know, some of the things that he picked up on were kind of spooky because I didn't necessarily tell him all about the different songs in the record. I just kind of gave him a general concept. So track 1, A Dead Ode to the Grave, is about Charon, the ferryman who takes souls from the land of the living to the underworld, and you have to pay the toll. So you usually put coins in the eyes of the deceased. That was sort of a superstition of the time. And he actually put a coin in the eye of this tombstone here, and I didn't tell him that that was the first track on the record, so he just added that in there. So there was a cool little synergy between the two of us on that little detail there. Yeah, I think he did just such a great job, and I love the color scheme of this. I think it matches the mood of the record perfectly. The color blue that he used is super eye-catching. It's a dark piece, but I feel like it fits the dark mood of the record. And I love the greenish yellow highlights that he puts in, and then just like a little bit of flame over here on the side of the tombstone. It gives it kind of a surreal vibe. When you're working with an artist, there's always that balance of letting them have their style, but also seeing your vision as well and making it come to life. So I think he did just such an excellent job with that. You definitely know it's Tom here, not only because he signed it, but he also put his name on the tombstone there. So I'm not sure what else is going in the time capsule. Hopefully you guys can make room. It's hard to part with this. You know, I'll give it to you guys on loan, but I definitely think I'm gonna need this back.
If I was gonna donate something personal of my own to some sort of time capsule, I would put the bass that I played on the Tomb of the Mutilated album, because that bass is the one that's on Hammer Smashed Face, which is one of our most popular songs, probably our very most popular song. And that's also the bass that's in Ace Ventura. We got the call to do Ace Ventura in 1993, and I guess Jim Carrey just wanted some sort of a heavy band for a few scenes. We agreed to do it, you know, providing that we didn't have to do anything we were uncomfortable with, but they said, no, you guys just get to be yourselves in the movie. They didn't want us to do anything ridiculous that we wouldn't normally do on stage. It's a very unusual opportunity. Even to this day, that's just a weird thing for a death metal band to be in a comedy, like a wacky comedy like that. So, but especially back then, we weren't that well known then. So we were surprised that Jim Carrey knew who we were. We were playing, and they'd begin playback of the album, and after about 10 seconds, so we could find our place where we were in the song, then they would just cut the sound, and then they would do whatever dialogue was going to happen at that time. The extras were moshing to essentially silence at that point. They started out moshing to the song, and then they had to keep moshing in silence. So it was kind of a weird thing, just being up there headbanging, hearing only my strings, and then hearing all these feet. You know, it was a pretty weird thing. It's kind of surreal. Even we've done all kinds of interesting stuff in our career, but that's still one of the most unique and, you know, crazy experiences. So we're very grateful to Jim Carrey and everybody involved with the movie Ace Ventura that they invited us to be part of it. Metal Blade, of course, helped us out getting that all arranged too. But that bass did tour with me in the early 90s. I used it in the Moscow video, so not only did I record Hammer Smashed Face with it, but you also get to see me screw up the bass solo in Hammer Smashed Bass a little bit on the Moscow video. It's funny because we took that song, I was like, this is pre-YouTube. When we put out the 15-year Killing Spree, I'm like, oh man, we got to pull out Hammer Smashed Bass. I really screwed up the intro. And I'm like, well, now nobody will see it because we pulled it out. And of course, there was already a bootleg version out there, so as soon as YouTube came out, someone put it out there anyway. I'm like, well, I should have just left it on the box set. Now, in hindsight, I wish I just left the version with the mistake on there, because really, who cares? You know, you play something like 3,000 or 4,000 times, you're gonna screw it up once in a while. It just kind of sucked, because that was our first time in Moscow, and they did this wonderful video, and here I am just blowing this part. It happens, and so you can't find that version on the box set, but you can find it on YouTube, so enjoy. That's me playing that bass and screwing up one of my most, or probably my very most famous part. So, awesome.
When we made Symbol of Salvation, we worked with a guy named John Scarpati, who was a photographer, designer. He came up with this idea for the cover. He wanted to have this woman dressed in like sort of this, I don't know, apocalyptic armor thing, and then he put her inside this beautiful frame, and he took a picture of it. Well, we had this costume built for her, and it was made by a guy who did a bunch of iron work. So he literally made this breastplate, and it was, another part of it was like a cod piece. And on the cod piece was this, and you can see this is like, you know,
that's heavy.
This is like metal.
This is metal.
This
True
is metal. And it was part of the cod piece. I don't even know how I got it,
Yeah,
or
right.
how it became detached from the cod piece, but I always kept it as just a reminder of the shoot. I was always really involved in the artwork with the band. Still am. I just love art, and I like to micromanage the artists. They love it. Not. He had this idea of making it look really, this style at the time in the early 90s was a lot of rough, it's kind of like photographs were made to look like they were unearthed from like the 20s or something, or the early 1900s, just really messed up and scratched, and, you know, stains on them, you know, really, really degraded. And so I was really gung-ho on that idea. And Brian hated it.
Back to that again.
He didn't like it at all. It was too outside of the realm of metal at that point. It was a little too alternative, maybe. But, you know, Brian came around, and we made compromise, and we changed the cover a little bit for the original release. We just made the background black, and you see the female in the middle of this black background. And it wasn't until the reissues, which came out later, like in 2000s, I think, we reissued Symbol of Salvation. And we did the old cover, the original cover, with all the scratchy alternative things on it, and so we both win. So there's my memory.
The chain is something that that I've actually started wearing probably about 22 years ago. You know, I don't know what it developed from. I just wanted to put, you know, a chain around my neck. Just I thought it looked tough, and like, you know, a little dog chainy, if you will. And I actually wore it during some of my time in Anthrax as well. So there's probably a lot of Anthrax shows where you see the chain. But, you know, I really associate it with My Ears Insane, and probably started wearing it in Revocation during live performances. I don't wear it all the time because truly it's heavy.
And it's pretty rusty.
It's very rusty.
But it is metal.
It is metal.
It's real.
And, you know, you get, and when you put it on, it, you know, it looks pretty metal, and so I'm proud of it, and I always like it, and, you know, I really think it's just a cool part of my look through the years.
Are you going to keep wearing it?
Yeah,
or are you going to clean it?
I'm going to keep wearing it.
Are you going to clean it?
I think, I don't know if I want
Tarnix?
to. I don't know if I want to clean it. I mean, it has ruined some shirts. It has definitely made them, like, you know, I wouldn't be able to wear them anymore except for on stage because they're stained from the rust. I think it looks better this way.
It's
and
got character.
It goes again with this whole thing of looking old and looking kind of worn, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So So I'm willing to put it in the capsule.
We're putting it in right now. This is putting it in the time capsule.
Yeah, but I want it back out of the time capsule if I can. Do you get it back? Is it being sent to Mars?
I think it's metaphorical.
Oh, okay, good. There you go.